a remote-controlled killer that has already saved the lives of dozens of Ukrainian soldiers. There is
a very strong likelihood that he will successfully survive a firefight encounter.
Day and night, capable of hunting down the enemy, it can operate several kilometers away from the nearest Ukrainian positions. And its price, comparable to that of a used foreign car, makes it possible to supply the robot to the troops on a large scale.
The core idea is that every soldier should be able to fully operate these robotic devices.
The combat ground drone Liut is already showing excellent results at the front. What is this system capable of? How have Ukrainian engineers armed the Iron Kid? And why can't the Russians spot it on the battlefield? We'll talk about all this today on Arsenal. Drones have long become an integral part of this war. In Ukraine, they are even creating a separate branch of the military to operate such equipment. And while the military is learning how to use it properly, Ukrainian engineers tirelessly continue to develop more and more new types of drones. The best of them go into mass production. The Liut robot is one of these.
The experiments that were just experiments 6 months or a year ago have now all become serial production lines. The quality of equipment assembly is improving every month, and a certain segmentation is emerging. That is, some companies are starting to specialize in certain narrow components in equipment assembly, and this makes it possible to forecast the market's development and accelerate its growth.
Engineers spent about a year working on this little iron machine. The very idea of mounting a tank machine gun on a mobile chassis and making it work remotely, the idea appeared a long time ago, but it was only possible to implement it by the end of 2023.
We received a technical assignment from the military stating that this robot should participate in more defensive operations, work in positions as a mobile turret, and perform distraction maneuvers. When it moves out, it opens fire and identifies enemy firing positions of the enemy.
In December of last year, the first prototype was sent to the testing ground. It was there that the full potential of Ukrainian Fury was revealed. Range, accuracy, resistance to electronic warfare, and off-road capability. The drone met all the requirements the military had for it.
There were several trips to the testing ground. These were firing tests. There were also tests for communication range and operation under electronic warfare. These tests were also conducted together with the military, for off-road capability and battery life as well. In fact, there are more than 30 protocols from these tests.
The results of the experiments showed the following. The communication range in line of sight is about 2 kilometers. In rough terrain and urban areas, the range is about 700 meters. The effective firing range depends on the type of machine gun, but the cameras allow you to clearly identify a target from a distance of 800 meters. When the tests were completed, the robot was sent to the front to test Ukrainian Fury, already in action. By the way, the drone has proven itself excellently. For Ukrainian UAV operators, the Liut drone was not something completely new or unfamiliar. The ground drone's controls were specifically designed based on the principle of operating a quadcopter, which is well known to thousands of our soldiers. He
has a single controller with which he operates both the combat module and the platform at the same time. Its all-wheel drive boosts off-road mobility. It can fire up to 800 meters, where the operator can spot targets via screen or goggles, similar to an FPV drone.
At the same time, another important detail was discovered on the battlefield. Liut turned out to be quite a tough little guy. Even if the enemy returns fire at the drone, destroying it is not that easy. It's not so simple.
There is a fairly high chance that it will survive a firefight. All control units are protected with armor. In other words, we focused on protecting what was necessary.
The robot also turned out to be quite capable off-road. Weighing about 300 kilograms, it easily makes its way through thickets, crossing logs and ravines along the way. The machine is designed so that it will keep moving even if only the bare frame of the wheels remains.
It has wheels that aren't afraid of being hit by shrapnel or bullets. This is because, first of all, they are not inflated. Rubber is used simply for better traction, and in the center of the wheel there is a metal rim. So you can completely tear off this rubber, but the wheel will remain and it will keep moving.
Moreover, it will continue moving while remaining completely invisible to the enemy. The robot's battery gives it a range of up to 20 kilometers, but most importantly, it doesn't leave a thermal trace like a conventional engine does. And visually during combat operations, it's almost impossible to spot this little khaki-colored machine.
It's invisible even to a thermal imaging camera, because it doesn't emit heat like a person or some internal combustion engines do. That's why it really can remain undetected and still deliver powerful fire.
The developers decided to provide that powerful firepower with a Kalashnikov anti-tank machine gun caliber 7.62. With an ammunition load of over 1,000 rounds and a camera with a 360-degree view, you can only imagine what this thing is capable of when it rolls up to enemy positions. At the same time, and most importantly, there is not the slightest risk to the life of a Ukrainian soldier.
Interest in them is growing now. Everyone says that we need to do as much as possible to save the lives of our fighters. And accordingly, such systems are being developed for exactly that purpose.
Similar systems are already being actively used by the Ukrainian army, for example, to deliver ammunition to frontline positions. Or perhaps for remotely planting explosive mines and blowing up fortified enemy positions from a distance. 3, 2, 1. Did you hear that massive kaboom? Crunch! The enemy's song. Now these mobile platforms will have yet another use. Point-blank shooting at the enemy. By the way, the robot Liut has already entered mass production. The developers are ready to assemble a dozen of these units per month. Once production capacity increases, the numbers will reach hundreds or even thousands. Did you enjoy this video? Don't forget to support us with a like and by subscribing to the channel, so you can learn even more about military technology and never miss new episodes of Arsenal.